This information comes direct to you from an examiner, so you know it's legit. Plus, look at this score. It's legit. Pretty much almost done. So you see that my actual essay wasn't actually that long. It was only a page and a half. What's up? So I got 10 out of 10 in my GAT. You can see it here. So I'm going to tell you how I got the perfect marks in part 1 of the GAT. And I'm going to share with you my essay so that you know exactly what you need to do when it comes to doing your GAT. Here's a bit of information you need to know going into task 1, which is basically a creative piece. Now, I've done a GAT video in the past, which I highly recommend you go and watch, because in this video, I teach you essentially what you should be doing for the writing tasks and how you should organize your time in order for you to get the best possible marks you can in the GAT. No, you don't have to study for the GAT, but if you can do well in it, then you might as well, because you don't know if your COVID's gonna come back, if you're gonna need a derived score. You know what I mean? You just don't know what's gonna happen. So you might as well try to do your best, and if this video helps you out with that, you're only going to spend a few minutes doing it and yet bump up your marks heaps, it's going to be definitely worth it for you. So I learned all of my skills from my tutor at the time, who was a VCA examiner. So this information comes direct to you from an examiner, so you know it's legit. Plus, look at this score. It's legit. So a lot of people get really confused when it comes to task 1, because they think that it's just a whole bunch of information that's put in front of them, and what they're supposed to do is essentially just regurgitate the information that's there, package it into an essay somehow. But as I've talked about in my previous video, the way that you do this is to write a creative piece using the information that's in front of you. Just trust me on it. I know a lot of people, like, there's a lot of talk back and forth out there about how you should be doing it, but you can see in the comment section of my other video people who have followed through with this creative method and have done really well. The reason why I like this creative approach as well is because it makes things easier for you. So in the instructions it says, develop a piece of writing presenting the main information in the material. You should not present an argument. So really what's left is, if it's not going to be persuasive, it either has to be an expository, which is just like a normal text response essay, or it can be a creative. A normal text response essay is going to be so boring for everyone out there. Do a creative instead. Why? Because your piece will be judged on how well you organize and present your understanding of the material and your ability to communicate the information correctly. So what this means is, if you're going to do a text response version of the information that's in front of you, the only way you can really do that is just by like regurgitating and just wrapping up similar pieces of information in one paragraph together. Like, I don't know how you would do an expository well. But if you were to be creative about it in your approach, that not only tests your organizational skills, but it will also test your understanding of the material as well. And what I mean by a creative piece is, you can write a letter to the editor, you can write a diary entry, you can write an advertisement, you can write a brochure. There are just so many different creative types of pieces you could use that the world is your oyster, essentially. So I'm going to talk you through how I did it for my particular GAT. This one here is actually a trial GAT. So we had like an examiner come in and grade our marks for us. So it's not my actual GAT, which I don't think you can get back, but it's the closest thing to, so we'll work with that. Anyways, we did a really old GAT. So this is the 2004, which is ages ago, General Achievement Test. Oh my God, some of you might have been born around this time. What? That is nuts. Anyways, the GAT has not changed over the past 10 or so years, so past 20 years even. Don't feel like this isn't information that's not going to be helpful, because every single year it's the same type of instructions with the similar type of information that's given. So here you can see that I've got an island, and there's just bits of information. There's a legend here, there's a scale here, there are facilities, and there is a temperature and maybe like a bird's eye view of the island itself. So if you look at this, how are you gonna write a text response on this? It's gonna be boring. So instead, what I did was I said, "Dear diary, we arrived on Amaru Island this afternoon, and the view of this place from the plane was amazing." So that's me covering this part of the information that's been presented. When I was in the GAT itself, I would cross out the section that I had covered just to see how much information I was able to pack into my piece and know that I wouldn't need to touch it again. Magnificent blue water sea, sand white coast, and huge amounts of great green trees. From the airport, we traveled by bus to our hotel, where we will be staying for 2 nights. On the way, we stopped at a historical ruin site. One of the tour guides whom we bumped into told us the ruins had been found from 1854. We stayed there for an hour, then caught the bus back again to our hotel. We were extremely excited to explore the hotel and its surroundings, so Dad, Mum, George and I quickly unpacked our luggage and changed for the night. We decided to have dinner at a restaurant, which turned out to serve delicious food. After dinner, we explored a shopping centre, galleries, and even a museum which is called Maritime Museum. So many facilities in just one place. That took most of the night and we were all tired from a long day. Tomorrow, we'll be going swimming and camping outdoors for the night. I'm excited! So you can see just in this one paragraph I've done here, I've tried to pack in as much information as I can, but in a way that makes it interesting and fun. And you'll notice that my vocabulary, it's not like I'm this 50 study score achiever who's writing like exceptionally beautiful language and, I don't know, making this GAT piece something that it's not. I'm just giving the information out there, having fun with it, making it creative, and as a result, I did well. All right, let's keep going. Dear Diary, our second day began with the sunshine pouring into our rooms. So that's just a nod to the temperature. It's not an explicit nod, it's more of an indirect nod. George and I were very eager to go swimming and were pleased to find that the weather for the day was 28 degrees. There's the explicit inclusion of the information. I'm glad we came here in January rather than July when we were initially planning to holiday. Heyo, adding in more information without just like forcing it down examiner's throat. Our travel guide booklet states that its only maximum temperature is 15 degrees in July. We wouldn't have gone swimming then, that's for sure. Mum and Dad decided that even though there was a safe swimming area in Gali on Gali Bay, we should go to the Dolphin Bay and then to the Marlin Bay to stay for the night. So here I'm just including Gali Bay because I wanted to, but I wanted to also talk about the other bays as well. So yeah, just like trying to be creative with how I include this information. It's all embedded within my storyline, so it doesn't feel like I'm spoon feeding my examiner pieces of information after information. We caught the bus again to Dolphin Bay, and there were many families as there was a caravan park situated right at the bay. How convenient is that? When we were swimming, we could even see the Cape Dalton lighthouse in the distance. Afterwards, we travelled to Marlin Bay via bus. Marlin Bay is right next to Amaroo National Park, and we've seen some kangaroos and koalas amidst the trees, but we're not allowed to enter the park as it's a marine reserve boundary. Tomorrow we're heading back to Gali Hotel, playing some golf and going riding along the coast. Pretty much almost done, so you can see that my actual essay wasn't actually that long. It was only a page and a half, and yet still got 10 out of 10. So I think it just goes to show how many people out there just don't know how to do a GAT, and so you only need to do a fraction better in order for you to do exceptionally well in your GAT scores. So to finish off my story, Dear Diary, our final day at Amaroo Island. We woke up early, had breakfast, which Mum cooked up, and then headed back home. You see here, like I'm also adding in just pieces of information that aren't necessarily in the page that's been given to us. Just, I thought it'd be a nice touch to say, you know, we woke up early, we had breakfast, which Mum made. It just adds to the storytelling. We didn't do much during that morning, just had lunch at the Gali restaurant. Afterwards, however, we did lots. We hired bikes from the shopping centre and rode along Gali Bay to Moonlight Bay. It was tiring, but the scenery was amazing. We spent most of the afternoon riding, but got back to Gali at 4 o'clock and Dad headed out for some golf. George and I decided not to because we were drained from all the exercise already. This is our last night in Gali. I'll be sad to leave Amaroo Island. That's it. If you guys want to see how I got 10 out of 10 in my second task, make sure you leave a comment for me, like this video, and I'll get one out for you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I wish you guys all the best for the GAT. Bye!